Third word that I want you to write down is actually an ancient Latin word. Guys, this word that you see right here, video, is actually 3,000 years old. If you look it up, it's not pronounced video in a Latin dictionary, it's pronounced video. Now, 3,000 years ago, the ancient Romans, they didn't have video cameras, they didn't have DVRs, they didn't have the high-def stuff we're using here today. What do you think the word video meant 3,000 years ago? Any ideas? What do you guys think? Has three meanings: to see, to perceive, and to understand. The ancient Latins knew something. They equated seeing with understanding. And you guys have known this since you were a kid. Sean, your father asked you to do something and you looked at him and said, "Dad, I see what you're asking for." When you said to your father, "I see what you're asking for," what were you really saying? I understand. And you guys have known, you've known something else about this since you were kids. A picture is worth 1,000 words? Yeah, guess what we now know from the brain science? It's not. It's probably worth 100,000 words, and some scientists believe it might be worth 1,000,000 words. Pictures are far more powerful. Guys, how many words would it take to describe a beautiful Rembrandt masterpiece? You see where I'm going? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the word video, and I want you to take the O, and watch how I'm going to do this. I want you to turn it into an eyeball. And this is really important. Next to the eyeball, I want you to write a number. And I'm going to tell you what the research says. The number is 30 times. Information gets to the brain 30 times faster through the eyes than through the ears. This is really bad news for you guys, but I'm going to say it again. Information gets into the brain 30 times faster through the eyes than through the ears. Now guys, there's only 5 ways to get something into this guy's brain. Only 5. What are they? Eyes, ears, nose, mouth. That's it, the 5 senses. Of the 5 senses that give your brain information, the brain makes one of them king, puts one of them at the head of the line. If all 5 of your senses present information at the same time, which one does your brain pay attention to first? Sight. Why? Because it's about survival. By the way, let me show you how this works, okay? Light hits the retina. That's the wallpaper on the back wall of the eye. The path that light follows to get into the brain does not go through the neocortex. The neocortex thinks, and by thinking, it slows down decisions. The path that light follows actually goes down here. It's called low path processing. And it goes to the visual cortex, which is here in the back of your brain, and directly to your spinal cord. Some estimates say 30 milliseconds. From the time image hits your brain till you take action on it, you move your spinal cord, 30 milliseconds. That's faster than you can think. So watch, let me show you. Sean, I gave you that harmonica, right? Please hold it up and pretend you're going to throw it at me. Don't actually throw it, but pretend you're going to throw it at me. And before you do that, I just want to tell everyone something. You know what the visual cortex does? It assesses speed and angle of approach. Remember this, speed and angle of approach. So pretend, take your hand and pretend you're going to whip that. As soon as he launches that harmonica, what am I going to do, guys? I'm going to duck, right? If it's coming fast, if it's coming slow, what am I going to do? I'm going to catch it. But am I going to stop and think, was he aiming back there? Did I piss him off? Boy, he throws good. Did he throw in high school? Could he throw the... Would I do all that thinking as soon as he launches the harmonica? Yes or no? Because if I did, what would happen? I get hit in the face with a harmonica. And guess what human beings have learned over time? It ain't good to get hit in the face with stuff. Okay, this is important. I'm a person of faith, and if you guys homeschool your kids, great, I'm happy for you. Okay, what I'm going to say now is either proof of evolution or proof of some intentional design, something bigger than this. Guys, why is the visual cortex in the back of your brain? Why? So if you get hit with a harmonica, you can still see the next one coming. You understand? That's how important visuals are. That stuff goes in the back of your brain because that's the safest part of your brain for if you're going to get hit with something. 30 times faster. This is bad news for you guys. Because you guys are trying to use what to convince people? Words. Words are much slower than visuals. So let me give you the 3 tips right now to make your messages more visual. Are you ready? Number 1 tip. The fastest visual that the brain processes is the thing itself. Show them the actual thing. Bring people to the thing you want to tell them about. If it's a CEO group meeting, Doug, you got to invite them. They got to see the thing in action. It's not something you can talk about. They don't understand it when you talk about it. They got to see it. Got to bring them to another group, let them see what happens there, give them an opportunity to actually see something. So the 3 tips that I'm going to give you have to do with the 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions means real life. So the most visual thing you can do is show someone the thing in real life. Second most powerful is 2 dimensions. You know what 2 dimensions is? A video, something moving, an animation, because the brain likes movement. So the second most powerful visual would have 2 dimensions. If you can't bring people to the thing itself, make a movie of it. If you can't sit someone down with someone else to give them a testimonial, make a video of someone giving a testimonial. So let them see something. The brain doesn't do a good job of differentiating between real life and video. That's why the movie business is so big, right? Because we can immerse ourselves in this other reality. Third tip, 1 dimension. You know what 1 dimension is? A drawing, a painting, an illustration, a map. You know, one of the reasons, and I've delivered over the past 5 years, I've delivered more than 500 talks to CEO groups, and here was the map I originally came up with. This year I did, as you guys see, an entirely new map, which I'm going to hand out to you guys as we go through this session, right? But create a map. People like maps, they like illustrations, they like pictures. And this doesn't have to cost a lot, guys. You can make your messages far more visual just by creating layouts of them. All right, so Russ, I liked what you did. You used the banana and you made it visual for Devin, and you let her know the change you make in the world. So alpha, delta, video. Guys, let me ask you, are the descriptions changing already here in the room? Yes or no? Are you seeing people's descriptions get different in what way already? Just in the last 10 minutes, what do you see changing? Who are we thinking about?
Well, they're right. They're not focused on themselves.
I want you focused on the person you need a yes from. And I want you to focus before you go into any meeting, any interaction. Alpha, do I know what's in it for them? Delta, do I know what could be different for them? And can I make my message visual?